Today I'm showing you guys 4 edible homemade gifts for the holidays for your friends, loved ones, coworkers, or any foodie enthusiast in your life. There's honestly something that is just so thoughtful about giving and receiving homemade holiday goodies. Everyone loves getting them, and I think everyone loves giving them as well. These are all super delicious recipes, they're super easy to make, and of course they're all vegan and gluten-free, which is great if you happen to have anybody on your list this year who has some dietary needs or preferences. All these recipes should help you out a little bit in that area. So let's just get right into these recipes. We're gonna start the countdown down from number 4 on the list. We're starting off with some yummy homemade Nutella liqueur for the chocolate lovers in your life. You need just 5 ingredients, including some homemade vegan Nutella, which I just posted a recipe for on this channel not long ago, so make sure you check it out. Let's start by adding some soy milk into a high-speed blender, plus some maple syrup to add a little touch of yummy sweetness. Date syrup works too if you have it. Then to add some body and super luscious creaminess, you're gonna add some coconut cream. You can buy this canned or simply refrigerate a can of full-fat coconut milk and scoop off the cream solids from the top. Then for the namesake of this recipe, you're gonna add about a cup of homemade vegan Nutella. This stuff is no joke. I've been making it practically non-stop since I posted the recipe for it, and it is insanely good. Now just blend it on high speed for about 60 seconds to make sure there's no lumps from the coconut cream or Nutella. We want this to be absolutely smooth and creamy. Now to thicken it up just a touch and help develop the flavors a little, just heat it through in a small saucepan until it's steaming and a bit bubbly, making sure to stir it frequently. Now let it cool completely, also making sure to stir it occasionally as it cools to prevent a skin forming on top, and add in your alcohol of choice. I used white rum here, but vodka would also be 100% acceptable as well. Stir in the alcohol really well to fully incorporate it, and voila, you now have totally epic Nutella liqueur. Now all you gotta do is bottle it in a fancy looking vessel. I'm just reusing an old maple syrup bottle that I've been keeping for something special like this, but even something as simple as a mason jar would be great. Using a funnel is highly recommended as it makes your life so much easier and it helps to prevent dripping and spillage. I gotta say, this Nutella liqueur is one of my favorite treats I've made so far this holiday season. It is fun, it's boozy, it's totally delicious. The texture is so smooth and velvety and it goes down so good. Drink it straight up over some ice, drizzle it over ice cream, or stir it into your hot chocolate or coffee to give it a special Christmas morning spike, or anytime spike. It's truly the perfect gift for those foodies in your life who just love to enjoy a drink. Next up is a super thoughtful yet frugal gift idea to give those in your life who just need some easy meal helpers. Dried soup mixes are so darn easy to make and are very cost effective if you're trying to be a little more economical around the holidays, as the ingredients are cheaper when bought in bulk and a little goes a long way in this recipe. So we've got some spices and herbs here to make a nice flavorful base for this curried lentil soup. Once you've mixed them up a bit, simply pour them into your vessel of choice, for example a jar or a soup bag. Again, using a funnel prevents unnecessary spillage. And now we just layer in the remaining ingredients. We're adding some brown rice, which is going to make this soup a little more filling and hearty, and then for some added plant-based protein, we're going to top it off with some brown lentils. You could also use green lentils if that's what you have. For the final layer, we're adding split red lentils, which when cooked help add nice thick creaminess to the soup, and that's it. You're done. Just screw the lid onto your jar and this gift is good to go. What's totally awesome about this dried soup mix is that you can easily double, triple, or quadruple this recipe to make several jars. And if you're a dried soup aficionado and you want to add extra mix-ins to these jars, by all means go for it. Dried vegetables, onions and garlic, or extra bouillon powder would add even more flavor. Now you might be wondering, how does one actually make the soup? And I'm so glad you asked because I'm about to show you. All you need to make this soup are a couple extra ingredients that you can write out on a little card for the recipient of the soup mix. You just saute 1 onion and some garlic cloves in a large stock pot, and then simply add in the entire jar of soup mix plus 8 cups of water or veggie broth. Bring it to a boil and let it simmer for about 30 minutes or so, or until the rice is cooked. Then just pour in a can of coconut milk, stir, and serve. It's literally that easy, and you end up with this warming, cozy, and totally flavorful soup that the whole family will gobble up. There's always the option to add extra veggies to the soup, which is actually what I ended up doing here by adding some chopped squash, which was a really nice complement to the curry spices, but carrots, potatoes, or cauliflower would also be really nice as well. Not necessary, but never a bad thing. I garnished my bowl with some cilantro for a pop of color and fresh flavor, and this soup was just so yummy. Moving on to this familiar looking holiday treat, we're making some spiced roasted nuts. These sweet and toasty little gems are so delicious you'll want to keep a batch of them for yourself, and that is no joke. To make them, grab yourself a large mixing bowl and make the spiced maple maple glaze first. We're adding a little bit of light neutral tasting oil. I used avocado oil, and then pour in the maple syrup. Then for more sweet flavor and fragrance, add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then my favorite ingredient in this recipe, some orange zest. There's just something about orange flavor in holiday recipes that is just so flippin' festive. Why is that? Then we're gonna add some nice warming spices like cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, all that good stuff. Now just give that all a really good whisking. We want all the spices to be dissolved in the syrup, and lord, that is gonna smell so good. Now for the nuts, you'll need 4 cups of mixed raw nuts of really any that you choose. I'm using raw cashews, pecans, walnuts, slivered almonds, but hazelnuts, pistachios, peanuts, they're all good choices too. Now just mix the nuts into the maple glaze until each nut has been well coated. Seriously, this is so yum. Now grab yourself a large parchment-lined baking tray and simply pour the mixed nuts onto the parchment, and using a spatula, spread them out into a single even layer. Make sure you get all that syrup out of the bowl too, because that's going to crisp up like toffee and you do not want to miss out on that. Now just pop that in the oven and bake it low and slow at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 to 50 minutes until the nuts are just starting to become golden in color overall, but the maple syrup on the parchment hasn't burned. You do not want to burn the nuts, which is why we bake it on a lower temperature. Once they're done, let them cool completely in the pan, and they will harden up and get crunchy as they cool. After you've measured them out in jars for gifting, my hot tip for you is to keep them in the fridge. They become even crunchier that way, and crunchy nuts are the way. These taste like Christmas, and everyone you give them to will love you forever, and that is my satisfaction guarantee. The last edible gift idea we're making in this video is coconut date bark. Absolutely a perfect gift for the coconut loving, chocolate addicted, chewy treat coveting person in your life. Now, yes, I have already posted a recipe video for date bark on the channel this summer, but I'm going to show you this recipe one more time. It's that good, and it deserves a second spot on my YouTube. So start by toasting up some cashews in a little skillet until they're golden and fragrant, and for the filling, we're going to combine canned coconut milk with some sunflower seed butter and maple syrup. Almond or cashew butter is also a totally acceptable substitute for the sunflower butter. Now give that all a really good stir in a larger bowl than this one until you have a smooth and creamy texture. Now to make it extra coconutty, let's add in some shredded coconut. I used unsweetened because this recipe is sweet enough without the sweetened stuff. Mix that all together again until it looks something like what you see here, and then moving back over to our layer of medjool date halves, just generously spread that coconut sauce all over the date layer. It's okay if the sauce is a bit runny because it's all gonna go in the freezer to set in a couple of minutes anyway. So spread the sauce over the entire surface of the date layer, and then comes time for those toasted cashews from earlier. Just sprinkle them over the sauce in a nice even layer so that every bite will have some crunchy nuts in it. Now melt some semi-sweet or dark chocolate in the microwave until it's nice and pourable, which is exactly what you're gonna do next. Pour that chocolate over the layer of cashews until almost every nut has been covered. You can use a spoon or a spatula after to spread the chocolate into a nice even layer, covering all the nuts, coconut filling, and the dates. It does not have to look pretty by any means. Now for the final touch, you're gonna sprinkle some more shredded coconut over the layer of melted chocolate, which is also kind of giving me some seriously festive snowy vibes. Pop the tray in the freezer and let it set and harden for about 30 minutes. Once it's set, you can either break off pieces by hand or cut them into squares like you see here. Either way, it's gonna be delicious. Date bark is such a fun and easy recipe to make, plus it's incredibly tasty. Caramelly dates plus layers of coconut, chocolate, and nuts. It is a lovely little treat to wrap up in a little tin and give it to a special person in your life. It's a total winner. Make sure you also check out my part 1 video of my edible foodie gift ideas recipe that hit the channel recently. I've got several other gift ideas in that video that you definitely need to check out for the holidays. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big like, subscribe below so you don't miss more videos just like this one. And while you're at it, you can check out this other video right here that you might like. And that's it. I will see you guys in another video. Bye!